Hi, my name is Brandi, the host of My Real Wedding, where we are chatting about the wedding planning experience, the good, the bad, and the real. And today we have Violet with us, and she's going to tell us about her wedding planning experience and her proposal story and all of that fun stuff. But before we do, thank you
for
coming.
having me.
You're welcome. You look so cute. I love your dress so much, and your earrings, everything.
Amazon, so you know.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, awesome. Well, okay, so tell us about you.
Well, my name is Violet Martinez. I am a wedding and lifestyle photographer.
So you're like super busy all the time.
Yes. So I work with my husband, and I work with my father-in-law, my brother-in-law. It's all family business, and I love them to death. But I do love my other full-time job, which is photography for weddings, and I love all that.
I've seen a lot of other planners or in general vendors, work with their husbands or wives, and I'm like, oh, I like that. You can spend the whole day with them. And I've tried to get my boyfriend like, come be my assistant for like one event and see if you like it. And he's just like he's an EMT, like he works at the hospital, and he likes that, but he's just like, that's not my thing. I'm not gonna like it. But I'm like, oh, it'd be so fun.
Right? So I always told till this day I tell him, hey, I wish you would kind of like help me out in the wedding. Like he's like, no. He's more laid back, more quiet, so that's not his thing, kind of like your boyfriend is not his thing. Working with my husband at first, like, it was weird because the first day I remember we were going to work together, and he's like, why are you following me? Why are you going to work with me? And I said, whatever. So it was a little...
How rude.
Right? So at first, it was a little awkward because I was around...
Were you already married?
I was already married. I was already... I don't know how many years in I was married because I worked for an insurance place. And I sold auto and homeowners. I did all that for, 7 years. And then my brother-in-law, he's like, hey, we need help. We need someone we can trust. I said, okay. I love working with my husband, and sometimes, most of the time, he's not in like the office with me because I do office stuff, and he's probably in the other warehouse or sales or, doing what his job.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good. I honestly can't complain. Like, I have my moments where I'm like, okay, babe, like I'm your coworker and not your wife,
having to separate
but
the two.
It goes both ways.
Yeah. I just keep thinking, why are you following?
Yes, he's like, you're following me to work? And I'm like, come on, babe, let's, but it's all good.
That's awesome. Okay, so do you have kids?
I do.
Okay,
so I have a rambunctious 3.5-year-old. His name's Zion. We call him Zai Zai. So he looks just like his dad. Like, he is his clone. Like, literally, if you were to put him together, his baby pictures, he thinks that's dad. But his personality is all mama. That's all me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it took us a while to get pregnant, but that's our miracle baby.
Aww.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how did y'all meet? Like, what's your story there?
Okay, so how we met, I was invited to church by a mutual friend. I started attending like youth group. I became friends with like, I guess his friends, but I never talked to him.
So like in high school, you said youth groups, like you were young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was like all puppy love, high school.
I love puppy love.
Yeah. So it was. I want to say I was about 15.
Oh, okay.
So we were young. We were young, and we went maybe almost a year without talking. We hung out with the same group of friends, but he was like on his corner, I was on my corner, but we don't know why. But I did not like him. I thought he was stuck up.
Yeah.
And he thought I was stuck up. Like, we just didn't like each other, but we all hung out. It was the weirdest thing until that one year. I remember it like yesterday. It was at our summer camp. our youth summer camp, and that's when we realized, okay, we started.
We were focusing about God.
We were focusing about God, yes. That was the main concern, but since we are kind of isolated from, like, the real world, I mean, you have phones and stuff, but you don't have TVs, you don't have anything. It was a fun experience, and then I was able to get closer to other youth friends that I didn't really talk to, and he was one of them. So that's when we kind of realized we liked each other. Yeah. And so we realized, okay, okay, he has a little mystery because he's the silent type, and I'm like, okay, there's a little mystery about him that I was very intrigued, and it was, so I said, like, the campfire wasn't the only thing that was, like, sparking, at that time. So yeah.
So cute. I love that. Mm-hmm. So young love, just enjoyed each other and spending time together. And then, okay, eventually there was a proposal. How did that go? Okay. Who proposed to who?
Okay, so Gerson proposed. I will never forget that night. And poor thing, he was so nervous. He was, like, nervous. Now that I think back, I'm like, okay, no wonder you were acting a certain way. But we went out to Kemah in Seabrook, Texas at the boardwalk, and we would always go there, just to hang out. And he proposed at our spot. It was by a lighthouse and the ocean, and it was very romantic, very intimate, because it was just us. It wasn't something so grand where how proposals are now, which, don't get me wrong, I love a good proposal story, but
that's a good proposal
story. That was our story, and actually that's the same spot where he gave me a promise ring. 2 years 2 years dating
before.
Okay. So he took me back, and then we were just there, and
so he was very conscious about it. Like, it was intentional, and he knew what he was doing. He was planning this.
He was planning it, and it was on our dating anniversary too. So I did not expect it. He got on one knee and he popped a question, and I was telling him, "Are you joking?" I know, poor thing. He's waiting on one knee, waiting for me. I'm like, "You're joking. Stop." Like, "Are you joking?" And it's funny because when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe after all these years. We dated for 7 years.
Oh, gotcha.
So, I mean, I didn't think the time, the day was going to come. And especially, I don't know, just how it happened, I was very shocked.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited that I could not wait to tell my sister. I got home. It was late. I got home. I turned on the light and I said, Christina. I said, wake up. She goes, oh, what? I said, look. And then she gets my hand and she's like, oh my gosh. Aww. So I had to wake her up in the middle of the night, telling her, I couldn't. But it was awesome.
That's so exciting. And how long between getting engaged and getting married? Like, how long was your planning process? He proposed
in October and we got married in April. So about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, okay, did you have a wedding planner or coordinator?
I didn't.
Okay. I just curious. I'm always like to know, like, did you wish you did, or did it work out well without?
It did and it didn't. Okay. So the wedding planning process, I'm like, okay, I got this in the bag. I love, organizing. I love planning. That was fun. It was I'll admit it was stressful. Yeah. But it was fun. Yeah. And I do highly recommend a wedding planner because it will help you, like, along the way, especially the day of your wedding. Yeah. The day of your wedding is absolutely 1,000% necessary to have one there because.
Thank you, girl.
I'm just saying because it like, from my experience, it was kind of like, okay, people were asking me, hey, Violet, so what's next? And hey, what time do you want to get the food out? Okay, should we open the fruit bar? Yeah. Should we wait?
There's tons of questions. Everybody wants to help, but they don't know what to do.
And they were coming to me because I didn't have anybody. And so I asked my sister and one of my best friends. She was my bridesmaid. My sister was my maid of honor, Christina, and my one of my bridesmaids, Sandra, I said, hey girl, is there any way you could kind of like help me out? So what did they do? They became my MCs. They were running around, hey, do you, trying to get the games, the bouquet, everything.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad. I was very grateful for them because they kind of like saved my wedding because they told me, okay, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything. Yeah. But I felt bad because, they were working on my wedding day. They shouldn't really stress out over something like that. You
want them to enjoy it too and like be there for you.
Exactly. And I wouldn't want like my mom or anybody's mom or relative to be working on the day of. They're supposed to be there celebrating you and your future husband, but yet mom is in the back in the kitchen trying to make sure the food is warm enough, or hey, what time, did everybody get a plate, everybody has a drink, all that. So that's one of the things I wish I had was a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would love to ask you more about that, but before we do, can you tell us about your wedding? Like when you got married, where you got married?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, all that fun stuff.
So we got married April 23rd, 2011. So that was 9 years ago. Okay. So we're hoping to celebrate big on our 10-year anniversary.
Yay,
so
fun.
I'm excited. Okay. So we got married at our church.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I know, right? Yay.
Yeah.
So we got married at our church. His parents are the senior pastors at the church. So he married us. We actually got married at the main sanctuary, and then we have a smaller facility. So our venue was in the smaller facility. Yeah. We had about 150, or so it seemed like it. I just felt like there was a lot of people. Yeah. Some people that I didn't really recognize. I just went with black and white. My bridesmaids, they had a navy blue dress. I try to keep it very simple, very formal. I didn't want loud.
Sounds very sophisticated too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, I did transform our church into a venue, so people, family members, like, oh my gosh, this does not look like where we're at. It looks like an actual venue because I put my sweat and tears in that because I didn't get the dream venue that I had.
Gotcha.
So,
do you have photos that you could share with us?
I have like one or two.
One or two is good.
I have one or two, so yeah. And they're not professional.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, what were some things that you said you weren't professional, so I assume there's more behind that, especially since you're a professional photographer now.
Okay, so I think what happened I don't want to cry. Oh my gosh.
Oh no,
I think what happened to me was probably one of the worst, like a nightmare for a bride. Oh my gosh. When you plan a wedding, you want to look back and, go back to your wedding album. And I didn't get that. We were on a budget, obviously, but I knew that I wanted to get a good photographer. And like I said before, we didn't have the resources like Instagram or a hashtag where you could find, the photographers. I mean, if I could find a photographer now and like go back in time, I would definitely do it. But we hired a family friend. And he had a legit business. He wasn't like an amateur, but he did an amateur move. Now that I'm a photographer, like a lot of things didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So what happened is, he was there. He took my bridals. He took my engagements. He was there for the wedding. And then after the wedding, I didn't hear from him. I kind of got ghosted. Like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it'll take 2-3 months to get my photos back, but he did not contact me, nothing. So I emailed him, nothing. I called him, nothing. I texted him, nothing. No response. And then months went by, I didn't hear from him. So I'm the one that he was very unprofessional in that communication. Like, I had to be the one going to him.
Yeah.
And it took almost 2 years or a little bit over 2 years to get some of my money back.
Oh my goodness.
So I never got my photos. I never got professional photos from my wedding.
I'm so sorry.
I have pictures from like disposable cameras, which I don't have many of those.
Yeah.
And then pictures that like friends and family took, which
Yeah.
they're all blurry and they're not, you know when you hire, it's not the same. It's not the same. So that's something that truly I wish that, you know, I did more research in, because I wasn't able to get that, you know. So it was, I mean, I'm over it, but it still makes me sad.
It's still a painful thing, 'cause that's a special day, and
you'll never get that day back.
Yeah.
You can't just recreate the exact same thing, recreate the exact same feeling. People like it's something. It's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
With the person that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. So.
Right. Well, I think that's really. I'm so sad that happened to you, but I think it's a really great thing for any brides that may be listening, that not all vendors are created equal, and so it is so important to hire professional vendors, especially, you know, I like to mention, like, sometimes, especially if you're on a tighter budget, picking like your top 3 vendors of what's most important to you, and for almost every couple photographer is in that top 3, and I would say do your read reviews, do your research, just go find someone, meet with them, do a consultation. Just because you have a consultation doesn't mean you have to book. I mean,
ask questions.
Yes.
There's no dumb questions. Ask questions. I think that's the main thing. And then we didn't have a contract. So, because we were going in with get a contract, okay?
Yes.
Go in and, you know, you go with the family friend. You just okay, I trust them. They're good. They have a business, you know, but it didn't work out in our favor.
Yeah.
So.
And not to say your friend can't do a good job,
no,
but you're putting your event at risk, and it's just such a reliever to know, okay, this person has been vouched for. They have proof. I'm looking at their Instagram, all these different events that they've done. This is not their first wedding. You know, they have the experience. Or even if you wanted to do a trial with bridals or something prior to that,
exactly.
And then asking your vendors that you do book, hey, who do you recommend for a photographer or something like that would be really good. And so you are a photographer now, so I mean, if you want to hire Violet, you're a professional photographer.
I'm here.
How would they contact you if they did want to book you or inquire and just ask you?
Well, I mean, my website, Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. So my Violet Martinez Photography, it's plain and simple, my name. You know, you can send me an email, call me. My website's Violet Martinez Photography, and so is my Facebook.
Gotcha. And what's your style? Or do you have a style?
I do. I love the classic light and airy. I feel like that's timeless. It's romantic. It seems very genuine. It is genuine, you know. But that's my type. Natural light photography is what that's my jam right there.
Yeah. and just hearing the story and your experience with it just knows your passion just shines through. So you know that you're going to be a good photographer because you've experienced what it's like to have a bad photographer and how that affected you.
I have, and I currently have brides that don't have a wedding planner, and that's where I step in.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell them, you know, and recommend a wedding planner, but if they choose not to, I feel like a photographer. Well, I do this for I step in, and whatever you need, what vendors do you need?
Right.
I do their timeline. I go, you know, beyond, you know, especially with COVID brides.
Yeah.
I helped them a lot. Well, I feel, you know, I was there. It's all about communication. That's pretty much what it is. It's you can have pretty photos, but it's all about your experience,
right.
You know, with your vendors,
right.
You know. So yeah.
Yeah, and a good professional vendor is going to have that recommended vendor list of professionals they've worked with because they've done it over and over. That they're like, this is someone you can trust. This is someone that's great. So just, you know, picking those top 3, find someone that you know you want to for sure book, and then ask them, who have you worked with? Who do you click well with? Who do you recommend? And you can just build and go from there.
Exactly. One thing that I love about my wedding is that I was finally getting married to my best friend, knowing that I'm gonna be with him for the rest of my life, celebrating with your closest family and friends. I think that was just, you know, it's awesome, you know, and sometimes the best moments are the moments that you don't plan. For instance, at the end of our ceremony, my mother-in-law gave a small speech about her son getting married. And mind you, he's 1 out of 5 and he's the baby. Mm-hmm. So I could just imagine a mom, knowing that he's the last one to get married. And she was just saying, him growing up, getting married. And as she was saying that, she takes out a little baby outfit. And I think it was so sweet. She takes out a baby outfit, and it's Gerson's coming home outfit from the hospital, and she gave that to me as a keepsake, and I think that was everything, what she did. That's super and sweet. That was not planned. I had no idea, and that's one of the moments that I'll never forget. Yeah. And we have it in a little box, in a little keepsake box, It was awesome.
My son is 2. Like, I can imagine him getting married, but when I try to, I'm gonna be bawling. Like, that's my baby, because he is so, so I have a daughter and a son, and my son is younger, and he is just so, my daughter is sweet, and I know she loves me, but she does her own thing, but my son is just, all about mommy. Especially at bedtime, he just wants to kiss me and hug me and pet my hair, and I'm just like, how it is. Oh, I love it. And one day, he's going to be doing that with his bride, and he'll be moving on. It'll be great, but it's going to be that's my baby. I know,
I think about that, because he tells me, I love you, mommy. I love you. I love you. He's a mama's boy. I love you. And I say, you better say that till you're older. So
I know.
You better tell me that you love me when you get all, grown and married with kids. Don't forget about me. He goes, I won't. I said, okay.
Was there anything else that you feel like you would like to give advice to a bride? Maybe think of this. This didn't go well. Something that you learned from your wedding besides that? Or was that really the only thing? Everything else just went really well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, aside from my mother-in-law, I loved my dress. That's something I knew coming in. I knew getting married, I did not want to spend a lot of money. On a dress. Yeah. I just, it didn't fit in our budget, and I knew, I know I could find something. I wanted it very simple. I wanted it simple but elegant, and I was able to add some embellishment on a belt, and then added buttons on the back of my dress. I just wanted something.
Yourself? You sewed it?
No,
okay.
No, my aunt did. Yeah. She's a seamstress. She's in the wedding industry as well. But she did that. She did all my alterations. She did that all for me, and I loved it, and it had pockets. Nice. Yes, that's what look, I got pockets, y'all. So yeah,
that's awesome.
I loved it. And
do you still have your dress?
I do. Oh, okay. I still have my dress, and hopefully I'll fit into it back one of these days. Wedding planning is fun, but it can be very stressful. And I remember the day before my wedding, I had my checklist, everything. I had my wedding plan in 5 months, and I'm like, okay, good.
That's amazing.
A whole month. I don't have to worry about, pain. I didn't have to worry about anything. Just relax, So I'm going as I'm going down my checklist, which that's a wedding planner's job. I'm like, okay, check. And I said, oh my gosh, the unity candle. So I call Gerson. I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe we forgot to put the unity candle at church. And it was
it never showed up?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
This is like, so I call Gerson and I tell him, and he's like, well, let's go to the church. Let's put it on the thing. I said, okay. Well, it's his parents' church, so he had keys, so we were able to put no, girl. We go there, and as I'm placing the candle on the stand, it breaks.
Oh, no.
So I'm so thankful for Gerson, because he's like, babe, it's okay. We'll get another one. I'm like, where am I going to get another? I was like, I was crying. Yeah. I was like, this is a day before my wedding, and I'm stressing over a candle. Yeah. So where did we go? We went to Walmart. We tried to find a white candle that matched with the other 2 candles, and we went back. And it was almost 1:00 in the morning. Yeah. I mean, we laugh about it now, but I remember
then
that
it was not funny to you.
It was not funny. I'm like, I'm gonna have dark circles. I want to get some sleep. I didn't get sleep because of that.
Well, to make you feel a little better, hopefully. Most brides don't get sleep no matter what, even if it's good. Yeah. They're just like, can't wait till tomorrow. Yeah. Or it's just so much. But yeah, just having, I think, other people that maybe could have helped you, or even if not, just knowing, okay, it's okay. The show will go on. Exactly. We'll continue and it'll be okay.
Exactly. And then I forgot my bell, so thankfully we didn't live too far. I'm not sure who. Someone went to go get it for me, brought it back, got my bell. So things are always going to happen, but like I said, be flexible. It's going to be okay. I was a pretty calm bride, I was very chill. I knew what I wanted, but I was chill. I let my bridesmaids choose their dresses. I wasn't like picky on, and a bridezilla is not gonna get you anywhere. I'm just saying that because if you're difficult, you're making everything difficult for everyone else, and it's not gonna be a fun experience. So that's important to know.
Yeah, I agree. And Violet, thank you so much for coming and talking. And again, I just keep thinking while you're talking, I'm like trying to listen. I'm like, oh, she's so cute.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to say to all the brides, just to kind of reiterate what she was saying, what Violet was saying, is just enjoy the process. Enjoy it and have fun. And if something goes wrong, as a wedding planner, I like to say have plan A, plan B, plan C for all the things. And if not, it's okay. You're still going to marry your best friend and it'll be okay.